getting the deed and working with the district attorney. A lot of work went into this, and so much behind closed doors that doesn't often get mentioned to get us to where we are today. And the judge was working on this before I was ever involved, and he really teed this up well. And we really want to thank him. You'll hear from him here in just a minute. I just want to mention some of the funding opportunities, and as I thank the Commissioner's Court, Commissioner Stout, who has been instrumental in making this happen. He's been here from the beginning as well, and he participates in the meeting. His CETO, thank you, his staff, and the many others from his office who have contributed. We wouldn't be here today. And then they advocate for it in Commissioner's Court, and they part of the money that and the process that you see here was from the opioid settlement funds. The Commissioner's Court did a great job holding Big Pharma accountable for some of the damage they've done to our community, and they entered into a lawsuit, and $500,000 from that settlement is going into this project to help pay for what you see here and what is going to come. The Commissioner's Court also invested some of the ARPA money at $1.55 million in ARPA funds, and we also applied and got a congressional grant, thanks to Congresswoman Escobar, who advocated for us at the federal level, of $850,000 for the dirt work. So that's how we got here today. We don't have money yet to invest in the construction of the new building, but we are continue to look for options and ways to make this happen. And so all of this has come together, and especially the work from the community in telling us what they needed to get us to where we are today. And truly, this is a textbook restorative justice project. We heard the stories from the community, the decades of problems that this had, but it's also bittersweet, because before that was the Valley Theater. And some here today, like Miss Shirley, have pleasant memories as a child growing up when this was a really nice theater and a big asset to the community here. And that changed over time, unfortunately. I want to thank our district attorney, Jaime Esparza, for taking action on that, bringing justice to the crimes and the exploitation that were happening at this site. And he really worked with the county judge early on to get this deeded to the county. We do have some restrictions on how we could use it because it's donated, so it has to have a public purpose of being a rehabilitative focus to the community, mental health, substance use resources, and those kind of things. But it is also going to be a major asset to the community in this area and to all of El Paso. So with that, I want to introduce our county judge, and I truly want to thank him.
Well, thank you, Joel. It's a lot easier to tee it up, like he said. The hard part was then passing a lot of responsibility to Commissioner Stout and then everybody that came together. I'm always glad that, Joel, you thanked everybody, so if you missed anybody, it's your fault, and I feel better about that. But thank you for the construction. That's I mean, it just took so many partners and everyone to come together to be able to make this happen. And it's always nice when the community patient with us. They wanted to see certain things. It's been a roller coaster, as Joel said, from the time of being a great place, a theater where people enjoyed themselves, to then converting into something that was, I didn't realize it was almost traumatic to have this here in sight and having all the activities and criminal activities. And, you know, the families having to go around because they didn't want to bring their children through the front part. And so when you hear about all this and then you end up where we are now, it's such a great feeling. And this idea that we haven't deviated, you know, when I spoke to Mr. Esparza, the DA at the time, he really said, you know, I'm willing to do it because I know that you're very engaged with mental health, you're very engaged with community, and I'm not willing to give it up. And then something, I find out that something else happened or another business came up or things that were not going to be part of the community. So my many thanks to our DA Esparza, but also the fact that we didn't allow it to deviate. And sometimes that can happen. If you push hard enough, you can go in a different direction and end up with something very different. And that didn't happen. What we were wanting the community to tell us. This community has been one where a lot of things were imposed on them, continuously imposed. this is what I think you should have. This is what's going to happen here. And the community had to stand by and deal with all these changes and things that happened here. So I'm very proud of Commissioner Stout, also a great advocate for mental health. And so that's very important, that we're very proud of all of you in the community, very proud of everybody coming together. And we're going to showcase, and I can tell you, and Joel and Commissioner Stout, we've talked about that this is a way things should happen. That we involve the community, that we take their feedback, that we make sure it's what they want and it's their community, the sense that it's theirs. This is theirs, not ours. We're here to mitigate, we're here to help out, we're here to support, but at the end of the day, it's the community, and that's what was very different. I really believe that we sort of showed others, even ourselves, as you could see, there's nothing that comes to Commissioner's Court that I don't hear Commissioner Stout say, well, have they gotten the community involved? Have we gotten feedback? Have we learned from what they want? So this has been sort of like the role model for the future. And so I'm very thankful for a lot of different things, but we're still not there. But I can tell you that one of the things that we're seeing here, that if you keep moving forward, if you keep trying to make things happen, we have better things. There's a lot of opportunity to say, well, we don't have the money for the construction, so why should we do the demolition? Or we're not there yet, so why this? But one of the things we've learned is that if you keep moving forward and you keep pushing forward, some great things happen. And that's what our expectation is right now. We don't have the construction money, but we're going to keep moving forward. We're going to look for funding. We're going to try everything that we can to make sure that it keeps moving forward. I want the community and everybody here to feel that commitment, that we've gone too far for us to even pause. We don't want to pause, because I know things happen when we pause. I don't want to sit here one day and say, I wonder what happened to that project 5 years ago. It would be, heart-wrenching for most of you from the community not to see the fruition. Which, Shirley, thank you. You've done so much. I mean, everybody. Like I said, I don't want to go through the list again because I'm afraid I might miss someone. But it is such an important initiative, and I hope each one of you understands that great things are going to happen not only here, but elsewhere, because they're going to use this as a benchmark, and this is the way we're going to do it. Start with the community, make things happen, support it, and allow them to be the drivers, not us. So, de nuevo, God bless all of you. This is a great place to be in this situation. Some great things are going to happen, and it's because of everybody coming together. A great lesson, not only for us, but for the rest of the community. So, thank you very much. And gentlemen, Commissioner Stout.
Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, buenas tardes. Well, this is a day that a lot of us have been looking forward to, right? Well, I know that a lot of the folks that live in this neighborhood have spent so much time on this project. We owe it to you all to keep going, as the judge said. And I just want to talk a little bit about, the past here. Sadly, this building represented the loss of something really special in this community. If you look just that way, the Rio Grande is right there, right? So this is part of the original river valley, the Rio Grande River Valley here in El Paso, which was naturally green, verdant, lush area. And I think a lot of people that grew up here may remember fondly when they were here seeing the valley, and it was much more evident in the past. But as years went by, unfortunately, local leadership stopped investing in communities in this area, and instead started putting resources into newer areas of town and really neglecting the existing neighborhoods that are here. And unfortunately, that investment rarely comes back to these neighborhoods. once it's gone, and that's what led to what we saw going on here in this building in its last iteration. It was the Valley Theater before it was the Naked Harem. It was a site of community pride before that, and I think that's one of the main reasons why we want to undergo this project and why we're working on this project is because we want this site to once more be a center of community pride. When the county got the opportunity to take possession of this property, as the judge explained, and we can't thank the judge enough to him and his staff for having the foresight and working with the former DA, Jaime Esparza, and coming and saying, hey, commissioners, we really need to look at this building. There's a great opportunity here. When I heard about it, when the judge came and talked to us about it, I jumped and I said, yes, we do need to take the DA up on the offer to take this building and do something with it. And I remember, we started talking about, well, what can we do with it? We started throwing out ideas, and then I got together with the judge and I said, we should just let the community choose. And I'm so glad that he had that same belief. I'm so glad that we were able to come together and say, look, this is going to be, from the very beginning, a community-driven process, a true community-driven process. And we talked to our staff, we talked to Betsy, we talked to our engineering staff. We had our staff come out and flyer the neighborhood and try to get people to come to a kermesse that we held here. I don't know if y'all remember the kermesse. It was, right after we got out of COVID, and we were giving COVID vaccines, and we had a jumping balloon, and we had all kinds of food and giveaways, and just a great time for people to come, but also for them to fill out surveys. We had a survey for folks to fill out, not just in person, but we had it available online, and hundreds of people that lived in these neighborhoods filled out those surveys. And a lot of that work, we have to give credit to the neighborhood associations, Ms. Shirley, Fred Borrego, Dr. Cynthia Renteria, who was at still part of the Washington Delta Neighborhood Association, but was ahead of the association, was working in my office, and is also one of the main proponents of this project in this neighborhood. Her mother, Alicia Villa. So many people that helped get the word out about the surveys and the importance of people in this neighborhood telling us what they want. And then all of the meetings that ensued, all of the planning that ensued. We had planning sessions at the San Juan Neighborhood Association that Fred hosted, where residents came and we had mock-ups of what the building could look like and what the programming could look like, and people came in and we had them put sticky dots on things that they liked and things that they didn't like, and it was community outreach and a community-led project. And I think people saw the opportunity to make sure that this place, because of all the ugliness that happened here, to be healing. And we wanted to make sure that everybody was engaged. And I'm very proud of those efforts. I'm so proud of the Commissioners Court, which supported this effort, has supported it through and through. We did put it on the ballot in November. Unfortunately, it was one of the items that did not pass on the ballot in November. We have to wait 3 years before we can go out to borrow money to be able to fund the building. There's a moratorium on that because it did fail. However, we're not going to just leave the space. We're going to knock down this building, and the goal is to, in the very near future, turn this into a recreational park space and leave it ready. Do the dirt work, move everything around, make sure that it's ready for when we have the money to put the building up. And we are going to work very hard to find that money. And I'm very thankful that the Commissioners Court was willing to put aside that ARPA funding, that we're willing to put aside that opioid funding, that the Congresswoman came and gave us some of that funding as well. And we have the opportunity right now. We've been discussing our capital plans, and we're looking at moving some money around and prior debt issuances that we have done. money that is left over from projects that came in under budget or that we did not spend, that we can use to invest in this area and make it that green space, that park, and leave it sitting ready for the building. But I want to thank also just everybody who was a part of this. I don't want to forget Maggie Morales, who grew up in this neighborhood, and she's a very, very staunch advocate for this neighborhood, and she was in a lot of the sessions, the work sessions that we had, the planning sessions that we had. She's the head of the adult probation department here at the county, but she's also done an amazing job in participating in this. Our county administrator, of course, Joel. Thank you for keeping your eye on the prize and doing helping the commissioners get done what we want to get done, and helping the community get done what they want to get done. But again, it's all about the neighbors and the neighborhood, and so the next person that is going to speak to you all is Ms. Shirley Nagel. Would you like to come up to the podium, Ms. Shirley? As a judge, and as Joel alluded to, Ms. Nagel has been the most staunch advocate for this, has been there every single step of the way, making sure that we...
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Shirley Nagel. Did I do good? Okay. Thank you. I'm Shirley Nagel. I'm president of the Corbin Sambrano Neighborhood Association, which is located directly behind. I do want to thank the county. We found out about this project in November 2020 when a news media came into our neighborhood, and we were thrilled to find out that the county had taken possession of this property. So we reached out as a community and involved 4 other neighborhood associations could potentially do something, whatever their plans were, something also for our neighborhood. And we were pleased to find out that they were very enthusiastic about doing that. So we have been working with them for 3 years now, and our neighborhood has been involved in actually the interior of the building, the exterior of the building. Looking at this building now, it's very sad. I remember this building. I've been in this neighborhood off and on since 1952. This building was built in 1948. So I remember this beautiful Valley Theater. And I'm very pleased that in the project of the exterior of the building, we all decided that we would make this building reminiscent of the old Valley Theater. It's going to be beautiful. We're going to have the marquee, and it's just going to be reminiscent of the history. I just want to thank the county for including this whole community, and this project, I think, will be a beginning for this whole area, and hopefully we can bring in businesses and people that want to promote this area. So again, thank you very much to the county, and it's going to be beautiful. We know what the interior is going to contain. We're going to have a lot of educational activities that are going on in the building for caring about our community. We appreciate it. Our next speaker is Mr. Fred Vallejo, who's been instrumental also in this project.
Thank you, Ms. Shirley. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Fred Borrego. I'm from San Juan, across the street. I'm from Sambrano because my business is just 3 blocks away from here, so I'm a member of the Sambrano Neighborhood Association and also San Juan. First of all, hold of this project. I've been involved in many projects throughout this area. This is the only one where it's come to all the other projects. They know better. It comes from the top down, and then they come to us just so that they can show that, hey, we talk to the public. This one is ours. This one is ours, and I thank you guys for that. We've had a lot of meetings, a lot of meetings about this and what we could do and what not to do. One of the decisions was to keep it, restore it, or knock it down. We all voted, not everybody voted to knock it down, but the majority voted to knock it down because of the stigma that it was, okay? So let me talk to you a little bit of this area. This site here, we talk about the Valley Theater, but we didn't talk about the other properties. This property here and the one across the street. There was a lot of drug activity, and the DA also convicted these people and took those properties away. To include this one was caught with underage prostitution. Like, wow. And so now the stigma has been really bad. About a year ago, that we're going to do something with Naked Harem, and there was a lot of people that say, "No, keep it. We need it. We need it." But what they don't understand was the hurt that was done to this community. And I'll give you a little story. There was a lady when we were at having meetings. She gave us testimony that her granddaughter was about 5, 6, or 7 years old. Grandma, let's go to the Disneyland place. The Disneyland place was this one. And if some of you remember, it was all lit up. Those columns were just going up and down with lights. Real nice. Am I in the wrong place? Okay. And the kids around here thought it was something like Disneyland. And she told us, and I couldn't explain to her that we couldn't go there until she grew up and she learned why her grandma couldn't bring her here. So it's a big stigma here. We got testimony about this place would get full and then they'd go out into the neighborhood and all kinds of weird stuff would happen. You know, so it's great that we're going to knock it down. It's great that we're going to come up with a wellness center. I think it's great for the community, not just this community, this whole South Central community. It's for all of us. And things that are going to happen here, I think are going to be really good stuff that's going to happen. So again, I thank the county for allowing us to take lead with this. One other thing that I forgot to mention. But we had another one. My friend Alicia Villa. She'd come over here and she told us she was here when Ben-Hur came out. The movie Ben-Hur. How many of you remember Ben-Hur? Okay. And she came and saw it not just once, twice, a bunch of times. But she saw it right here at the Valley Theater. So again, thank you. We're ready to knock this place down. We're ready to move forward. We have some ideas for the near future. I was hoping that some of the people would be here. I don't see them here, but we got some great ideas. So we'll see you next time. Thank you all.
All right, you are going to get to see the beginning of the exterior demolition. They're going to go ahead and knock into one of these pillars, and what a symbol this is going to be. As they get ready, I also want to offer thanks. Jose Landeros came with his two daughters there in the back. A lot of people don't know this, but Jose was instrumental in getting us brownfield grants and helping. Oh, and she's ready to press the button to make the building explode. I wish we could do that, but they said no. So thank you again for coming.
Thank you everybody for coming out. This concludes our ceremony. Media, we have Mr. Joel Bishop and we have some members of the community and the judge and Commissioner Stout available for interviews.
Oh, yes, perfect.
Sorry, I came over here.
No, you're fine.
And we could just put this in here.